On the latest episode of the Osbornes podcast, Ozzy Osbourne and his family are reacting to Britney Spears and her use of social media, mainly those dance videos that I'm sure a lot of you have seen. Some of them are downright bizarre, those videos of her dancing with knives, numerous other clips as well. Now, it's not as if people are just mocking Britney on social media. A lot of this has to do with some concern, which the Osbournes also express. Going back to the conservatorship she was under, you heard a lot about the Free Britney movement and questions about whether or not her family's assertion that she had some sort of mental issue that she was dealing with was in fact correct. Of course, the Free Britney movement also said that her family was just taking control of her finances and holding her back from making public appearances that she wanted, etc. Eventually, a judge did toss out that conservatorship, and now Britney uses social media freely, and many people are questioning what is going on with her. And then there are a lot of people as well who are saying, look, this is just how she wants to be. She wants to dance on social media. There's no issue. And so let me know what you think about that down in the comments. Now, what's interesting about all of this is when Ozzy actually criticized her on the podcast, Britney Spears has now issued a scathing response to Ozzy and his family on Instagram, and she's responded to others in the past, but not very often, considering she's one of the most successful pop artists of all time. And of course, Ozzy being the icon that he is, it's no surprise that she's responding to him. But she wasn't very happy about what he had to say, spoiler alert. And so this is what went down during that recent episode of the Osbornes podcast. On the latest episode of the Osbornes podcast, where members of the Osbourne family open up about current events and also discuss legendary moments from Ozzy Osbourne's career, members of the family were answering questions from their fan, with one question directed to Kelly asking whether or not she would do TikTok dances. She said, "I don't know how to do TikTok dances. I don't know where anybody would ever think that I would." Sharon responded, "It seems to me that TikTok, when it first started, were people doing silly dances. But now it's developed into so much more." That's when Ozzy chimed in and said, "I'm fed up of seeing poor old Britney Spears on YouTube every effing day. It's sad. Very sad." Britney Spears was reportedly placed under a conservatorship in the mid-2000s, around the time she had a very public breakdown. The justification was said to be that Britney Spears had mental health issues preventing her from making sound decisions about her personal life and finances. Her father, Jamie Spears, argued that she needed the conservatorship in place for support and protection. Secrecy surrounded the conservatorship, with details about her mental health kept confidential. Many fans speculated what the records could reveal, and a large movement, dubbed the Free Britney movement, was launched with an effort to get Spears released from the conservatorship. It was during this time for many years that Britney didn't run her own social media. Britney would testify in court arguing against the conservatorship, which was eventually dropped. And many people have questioned the conservatorship that she was under. There were a number of documentaries that explored this subject, but the fact is Britney was eventually released from that conservatorship, and just on social media alone, she posts a lot of videos that have led many people to speculate about her well-being and her mental health. And now Britney Spears has responded directly to the Osbournes from this episode, and she is alluding to Kate Beckinsale and other celebrities that she says have been told to maybe act their age, and she seems to say she's just being herself. And she said that the Osbournes are one of the most boring families of all time, which I don't think is true by any stretch. Here's more. Britney shared the following statement earlier today, reacting directly to the Osbournes. She said, "Have you guys ever seen the movie Serendipity with Kate Beckinsale? Well, let me tell you, if you haven't, you definitely should. I adore Kate Beckinsale, especially because she's from London. I realized how incredibly cruel people were talking about her IG, saying she needs more age-appropriate content. She's in her 50s, and I thought it was pretty badass how she responded with a mini bow in her hair, looking literally 4 years old. Not as bad as some of my comments saying, it's sad that I'm as old as I am, and I'm dancing every single day on my IG. Number one, I hardly ever dance. And number two, I'm not poor at all," responding to the Osbournes expressing sympathy for her. She said, "I have more ligature in my left toe than any grown man or woman on earth. If you don't believe me, how long do you think I should keep this going for? In my transparent opinion, wealth and health, it isn't relied solely on cash in your bank account which I have lots of that too. It relies on my quest for my own effing interest in how I demonstrate and serve back these wise-ass assholes, just as Kate did. I taught dance class last week to a couple of teenagers. A lot of kids were too thin and some were too big. I know what it's like to be judged, so it's a ridiculous and stupid subject initially, but I think it's important to help each other and to invite each other to places that help our souls grow. It's good to see others doing painting class, dance class. What have you seen lately? What are you going to do to help someone out and bring their dreams to life? Besides being like me and Kate's haters, saying we're too old or don't have appropriate content, do you think perhaps they might be offended by what they see? Would a condescending approach be better, like inviting those exact same people to my class and let them see how my students are nourishing and living their lives? It's good for the soul, yet frankly, it's not condescending at all. It's being a smartass, and damn, those are usually pretty attractive. On the flip side, there are actually people that do help others out and mean well, that don't embarrass or demoralize another. I personally believe that being vulnerable enough to ask someone for inspiration or help is incredibly beautiful. But ironically, in the world we live in, with how incredibly cruel people can be, you have to be extremely careful who you allow in your circle and your heart. I'm going to do a photo shoot with Kate and tell the Osborne family, who is the most boring family known to mankind, to kindly F off. Okay, so there is Britney Spears' response to the Osbornes. It's clear that she took exception to what they had to say about her, and I don't think the Osbornes were actually trying to be mean or cruel to her as they took it, even though Ozzy was just saying he's fed up with seeing her Instagram posts and her dance videos. But I think the main thing they were getting across was just concern about her. As many people have expressed, she was under conservatorship for many years, so I don't think it's unfair to question whether or not she's good. I mean, some of the stuff she's put up, the videos of her dancing with knives and stuff, it's at least fair to question, and I definitely think that's what the Osbornes were doing. Check out their podcast. It's genuinely amazing, the Osbornes podcast. It's great to see Ozzy each and every week. He has multiple podcasts now, and I think for the fact that he can't really perform like he wants to, this is such a great way for us to get to hear from him. He has so many interesting perspectives and just so much entertainment that he's provided and continues to provide. That's your latest update here from Rockfeed. Be sure to subscribe and notifications on for the latest news and updates.